Have you ever felt your mind shaken by someone's words, actions, or emotions? Can a single negative comment ruin your entire night? Can a cold glance make you question your self-worth? In a world that moves at lightning speed, through social media, work, and relationships, is it still possible to live with a calm and unshakable mind? The Buddha once said, "No one can hurt you unless you allow them to." In today's podcast, we will explore 10 profound Buddhist principles that can help you protect your inner peace and prevent others from emotionally manipulating you. These are not just abstract teachings, they are timeless wisdom born from thousands of years of practice and deep insight into the human mind. Are you ready to begin the journey toward reclaiming your spiritual freedom, where you're no longer a victim of the outer world? One of the first lessons Buddhism teaches is this: the mind is not controlled by the outside world, unless you allow it. Imagine your mind as a strong fortress. No one can enter, harm, or disturb your peace, unless you give them the key. But in modern life, we often unconsciously hand over the key. A criticism makes us angry. A rejection makes us sad. A moment of silence makes us anxious. The truth is, negative emotions don't come from others, they come from how we respond to them. As Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh once said, no one can make you suffer unless you give them permission. So the first principle is to reclaim the ownership of your mind. Observe your emotions instead of reacting. Pause for a breath before responding. Ask yourself, am I reacting because of them, or because I've given them the power? One of Buddhism's deepest truths is impermanence. Everything in life changes. Joy doesn't last forever. Pain doesn't stay forever. People come and go. Emotions rise and fall. Nothing stays the same. Buddha taught, all conditioned things are impermanent. When you see this with wisdom, you no longer cling to sorrow. So why be heartbroken when someone leaves? Why let a hurtful word ruin your entire day? You suffer not because things happen, but because you expect them to last forever. You hope people will always love you, always understand you, always be kind. But when things change, you feel hurt. The second principle invites you to let go of the illusion of permanence. Learn to smile when things arrive, and gracefully release them when they go. Here's a truth that's hard to accept: we all must experience suffering. You might be strong, smart, kind, or successful, but that doesn't exempt you from pain, loss, illness, or loneliness. Buddhism calls this the first noble truth, the truth of suffering. Not to make you pessimistic, but to help you see life clearly, and face it with wisdom and compassion. You suffer, not because you're weak, but because you're human. Instead of asking, why me? Ask, what can I learn from this suffering? Suffering is a teacher. It teaches you to cherish joy. It helps you empathize with others. It softens your heart and opens you to love. And when you no longer fear suffering, suffering loses its power over you. Nothing lasts forever. It sounds simple, but it's one of the hardest truths to accept. Everything changes. Youth fades. Loved ones grow old. Things you cherish will disappear. Even you are constantly changing. Buddhism calls this impermanence, a core truth. We suffer not because things change, but because we cling to people, emotions, results, and expectations. When you accept that all things that begin must end, you stop being afraid of loss. Instead, you learn to love fully in the present, knowing it won't last forever. Impermanence is not a tragedy, it's a precious reminder. Live deeply. Don't postpone love. Cherish every moment, for it, too, will pass. Have you ever held on to pain so tightly that you couldn't breathe? There are things we keep clinging to: a broken relationship, a past we can't change, an old image of ourselves that no longer fits reality. We think that by holding on, we're preserving happiness. But in truth, the tighter we grip, the more we suffer. The Buddha taught, letting go is not giving up, it's acceptance. Acceptance that we can't control everything. That no one belongs to us forever. That all emotions, whether joyful or painful, are only temporary guests in the mind. Letting go is freeing yourself from the chains of expectation, regret, and control. When you let go, you feel light. When you're light, you're free. Take a deep breath. Then gently release. And you may feel a new self awakening inside you. In a world full of noise and chaos, stillness is not weakness. It is the silent strength of someone who truly understands themselves. When we react impulsively, we act out of fear. When we stay silent at the right moment, we act out of wisdom. Stillness is not being swayed by praise or criticism. It is not letting out a noise shake the peace within. In meditation, we learn to sit calmly in the storm, listen to our breath, and feel the presence of life in each moment. The Buddha taught, greater than the conquest of 1,000 in battle is the conquest of oneself. And to conquer oneself, we must first learn to be still. Stillness is not escape, but a return to the pure, wise essence of who we are. Rejection can feel like a knife cutting deep into your self-worth, especially when it comes from loved ones or opportunities you cherished. But the Buddha teaches, rejection is not here to break you, but to help you see yourself clearly. Every rejection is a mirror reflecting where you're holding on too tightly, where expectations remain unhealed. It shows you that your value is not defined by others' acceptance. Learn to see rejection as guidance, not punishment. Closed doors are often opening doors to better paths. By embracing rejection, your heart feels lighter, freer, and you gain the strength to keep moving forward. At some point in life, you begin seeking validation from others, parents, friends, or social media. At first, it seems harmless, even necessary, but gradually, you hand over your self-worth to external things beyond your control. You start wearing masks to be accepted, hiding your truth to avoid judgment, saying what others want to hear to keep peace. Each day, you lose a part of your true self. Buddhism teaches that freedom begins when you stop clinging to being liked. If you constantly seek approval, you're living a version of life that's not yours, built on a fragile foundation ready to collapse. Ask yourself, what have I sacrificed to be accepted? How much of my true self have I hidden out of fear of being alone? This is how you slowly lose your true identity. Validation is a sweet trap, but the day they withdraw their attention, you're left empty, anxious, unsure of who you really are. Buddhism encourages walking the middle path, neither dependent on praise nor rejecting it. Freedom is living authentically without needing others' understanding or approval. The day you stop chasing validation is the day you begin healing and living true to yourself. Many people think holding on to pain, anger, and resentment is a way to protect themselves. But in reality, it's how you trap yourself in suffering. Buddhism teaches that the mind is not a container to store negative emotions. Holding on to them is like carrying a heavy stone in your hand. The longer you hold it, the more it hurts and tires you. Instead of suppressing or storing, learn to recognize and let go. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or ignoring, but allowing yourself to be free, released from invisible chains. A light heart is the foundation of true peace. When you no longer carry burdens in your mind, you can open your heart wider and embrace life more fully. Finally, the most important principle among these 10 is letting go. Not abandoning or being indifferent, but accepting reality and not clinging to things beyond your control. Buddha taught that everything in life is impermanent: success, failure, loved ones, material things. When we learn to let go, we no longer get bound by loss or change. Letting go helps you avoid deep hurt, keeps you unaffected by criticism, failures, or unhealthy relationships. You won't be trapped in a whirlpool of negative emotions and thus can maintain inner peace no matter what happens around you. Remember, letting go doesn't make you weak, it makes you stronger. Because when you let go, you free yourself, creating space for genuine joy, clarity, and love to grow.